I've been using Macs for close to 20 years, and for the most part, they just work. They're fast, reliable, and I've never really felt forced to upgrade. But one area that Apple constantly misses the mark is on some of their upgrade pricing. Now, well, some of it, a little competitive. The storage drives, man, $800 for a 2 terabyte SSD. Yeah, that's not for me. So instead of paying Apple's upgrade pricing, I decided to swing over to a website called Expand Mac Mini, grab their 2 terabyte internal SSD upgrade, and I'm going to install it myself. This will be an actual internal SSD installation. I was really curious how long this was going to take me to get. At the time of me filming this, when I got it, it took me 11 days. So next, let's take a look what we got in the box. I got a feeling after watching a couple other people's videos that this is about one of the most confusing parts of doing this upgrade. The bits cap pops off. They're inside. So they've included a nice little kit with everything we need. Let's get the computer prepped here and get it installed.
All right, so on the Mac Mini, we're going to swing on over to System Settings. We're going to hit General, scroll down to the bottom, hit Time Machine, and make sure we have a current Time Machine backup. Now, if you've never set up Time Machine, it's about the easiest thing you could do on a Mac. You just hit the plus, let it know which storage drive you've attached, and click Setup Disk. I would let it run a couple cycles just to make sure you're on the safe side, and you'll be ready for the installation. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is back under System Settings, click on your username, scroll down to the bottom, click Sign Out. That's going to sign us out of our iCloud account. Remember, we are basically wiping this computer and we're restarting it from scratch. So we're going to click Delete from Mac, verify right there with that again, put in our Apple password for our Apple account, and get that in there. Then we're going to have to put in the computer password. Click OK one more time, and it'll sign us out. Now we're going to come back under General, scroll down to the bottom, click Transfer or Reset, and click Erase. Put in our computer password again. It's going to give you a reminder here that you need to do a Time Machine backup if you haven't already done that. In our case, we did. So we're going to go ahead and click Continue, and we'll click Erase and wait for our screen to go blank. So the computer's going to restart, do its thing, and as soon as we see Activate Mac, we're just going to go over to the top right hand corner, click on the Wi-Fi logo, and we're going to ask to join our networks. I did have to click on the little Show Networks to bring down mine. We're going to find it here, log in, put in our password. Now, for one reason or another, I am using a wireless keyboard, which worked fine, but a couple times during this process, I had to turn my keyboard off and on real quick to get the computer to recognize it. And as soon as we see the hello window pop up, that'll let us know we have a fresh factory reset. Now we're simply going to turn off our Mac and unplug all of our attached peripherals. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and put my Mac Mini on a nice little mouse pad here to protect it. And I'm going to use the two little included pry bars. One's like a little miniature flat guitar pick, and the other one was the little spatula with kind of a metal end on it. I'm just going to mostly use the metal spatula to pry it open. I dumped the pick in there real quick just to hold it up, and really the metal one is the better one, but you kind of need both of them to get it started. And just kind of slowly go around, and you'll see once it's open exactly what's going on here, but you want to just pop it up. Now we're going to come around. There's four clips that we got to undo here. So got a couple of them there, and we're going to work our way around, get the next one. And you do need to be very cautious around that power button because there is wires in there. You don't want to damage those. That's going to ruin your day. And I think we do have two more here. I'm going to pop this up. This is really almost the hardest part of the install. And just be careful with that lid. We really don't want to damage those wires. I always recommend using a magnetic mat when you're doing projects like this. Those screws are really small, and if you do drop one, someone bumps your desk, things happen. Just trust me, it saves 30 minutes looking for a screw. Now the kit did include some Torx bits. There's a 3, 5, and an 8 there. These 8 screws holding on this first plate are the 5. We're going to go around and take those off, but I'm going to run into a problem here in a second, you'll see. So it can't be a true DIY job unless at least one thing goes wrong. And right here, I rounded off the bit. The metal on the bit is too soft. Luckily, Apple uses quality screws. I was kind of worried whether it was the bit or the screw that I had damaged, but I got this set off Amazon, highly recommended. I've used it for numerous jobs, and I was able to keep going, and there was no damage to the screw. Well, the fancy purple anodizing fooled me. I can recommend that you do not use the included screwdriver and use a nice quality screwdriver with good tips. It's just going to make life a lot easier. So I must have got excited when I rounded off one of those screws and forgot to film pulling out a bunch of the rest, but they're pretty self-explanatory. Just don't forget this last one back behind the power button. That one's kind of hidden back there. Now we're just carefully going to lift up this plate, and we need to kind of sandwich the top and the plate we just unscrewed together and carefully set them off to the side. And we're going to go ahead and rotate this. You'll need to do the same to yours just so you have a little better access. And we're going to take out the fan assembly now. Now the fan assembly has 2 of the Torx 5 down here on the lower portion, and we're going to need the smaller Torx 3 to get off those 2 on the top. Now just take the fan assembly, prop it up inside the case. No need to undo the wires. And we're going to rotate the case one more time, and there's our SSD. Now we're just going to grab our Torx 8, undo this one Torx, and then we just need to be a little careful sliding out the SSD. You kind of have to lift it up just a speck and wiggle it forward. I used my fingernail on the actual big silver SSD chip right in the center just to kind of push it forward. It's not hard to get it out by any means. Just work with it, be a little careful. You don't want to damage the connector in any way, and it'll come right out. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the old SSD off to the side and grab our new one here. Now I will point out there's a little notch in the chip. It only goes in one way, and down on the connector there's a little marking. That's where the notch goes, and also your screw will not line up to the notch if you have it backwards. So make sure you're checking that. And sliding it in is actually easier than taking it out. Just pop it down in there and slide it forward. So I'm going to speed this next part up real quick. If you made it this far following along, you really don't need my help to put it back together. Basically, we got the Torx size 8 to put back in here on the SSD. We're going to put the fan back on top. We're going to put the 2 Torx 5s back in on the bottom little screw holes there. And those 2 tops, I believe they were the Torx 3. We're going to screw those back in, put the top plate on. We are going to put the 8 screws back into that, not forgetting the one behind the power button. And take note from where those little snaps are on the top casing with the vents. And we're just gonna click it back into place gently and turn it back over. So a quick little overview of the tools I used. I'll link the products down in the description. I used this Jurist tool set from Amazon. I ended up using the 3, 5, and 8. I ended up using a pair of tweezers and the 2 little included pry bars that came with the SSD. And I also used the magnetic mat. And if you're following along, right now is a good time to put all of our tools away so we can get to rebooting the computer. So now we're going to go ahead and hook everything back up the way we had it. Basically our keyboard, mouse, and the SSD that we had attached with the Time Machine backup. The only thing we got to pay attention to here is
leave the power cable out for now, which you can see I messed that up. And we're going to put the USB-C cable in the middle connector, the one that has the lightning over the top of it. And the other side is going to get connected to our Mac that we're going to use to do the DFU restoration. So I'm going to hold down the power button and put the power cable inside while holding it down. And that's immediately going to force the Mac into DFU mode. And you'll see when I flip it over, the light is blinking orange. And that basically just indicates that we are ready to get this going. Now, very important right here, we're going to click Restore Mac. We are not going to click Revive. Go ahead and click Restore and Update. Now, you're just going to let it do its thing until you see this screen. Now, on these two little pop-up boxes, I clicked OK and Don't Allow. Honestly, I don't even think it matters what you click there, because you can see in the background, we're already being welcomed with a hello screen. And now we're ready to start setting our computer back up. Now we're just going to go ahead and select English, and we are going to select our region. Now right here, we're just going to click the top option from a Mac, Time Machine, or Startup Disk, and click Continue. And we're going to click Continue again. It's going to ask us some simple questions. Click Not Now, get to the Wi-Fi setup, select your Wi-Fi, click Continue, enter your Wi-Fi password. Now it's going to take a minute and it's going to bring us to this data and privacy screen. Just click OK. We're going to select the drive with our Time Machine backup and enter the password that you put on your Time Machine. Hopefully you remember that. Now, one thing I noticed throughout this, a lot of the continue buttons were grayed out, like you couldn't select them. Just go ahead and select them anyway. Push them. It seems like a small defect with the Mac OS. Now just go ahead and follow the prompts. Keep clicking Continue. It's going to bring you to this screen right here. It's going to have some options. Honestly, I just left everything checked. I think that's the appropriate way to do it for most users. We're going to click Continue again, and it's going to prompt us to create a password. Go ahead and confirm your password, type it in again, and click Continue. Now it's going to give us some terms and conditions. We have to select Agree. We'll confirm Agree, and it's going to start doing our data transfer. Now, I think the thing pops up here, says it was going to take about 33 minutes. In all honesty, I think it took about 10. And as soon as you see the screen right here, congratulations, you're done. Now, every once in a while, I kept having to reset my keyboard because it just wasn't connecting. Quick little toggle off and on done the trick. So we're going to log back in, and it's going to prompt us to put our Apple ID password. We're going to input that. It's going to make you verify from another device. We're going to click Continue one last time. Go ahead and select Get Started, and it's going to open up our desktop. Now, if we go to General under System Settings, we can scroll down to the bottom, and it's going to show we have a full 2 terabytes installed. And here's my read and write times before doing the upgrade, and this is after. All right, guys, so we got the hard drive in. Everything's working great. Now, I spent my own money on this. They didn't send it to me, so I'm going to say whatever I want to say. So far, so good. You know, this was definitely one of the more expensive options. I did a little research for what I could. They seemed like one of the more reputable companies out there selling these kind of drives, but they're also the most expensive. There are some cheaper options out there, but I have heard that there's a lot of failure rates with those. So put your money where you want, but as long as this thing works out, doesn't crash on me, I saved about $450 going this route. So hopefully that saves you guys some money. This is a very easy install. Even if you've never really done anything like this, I don't see it getting too many people into trouble. So, and I do definitely recommend getting yourself a quality set of screwdrivers. You've seen what happened when I put mine in. If you like videos like this, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.